Good morning. Today is December 2nd, 2025. This is our special meeting to conduct interviews for boards and commissions for the Berrien County Board of Commissioners. So if you would please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. For purposes of attendance, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bassett?
Here.
Calton?
Here.
Campbell?
Here.
Getty? Here. Hatfield? Thompson? Smelker?
Here.
Tennyson?
Here.
Jackson?
Here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We do not have approval of the agenda on this particular schedule. However, after some ongoing conversations with Eric and with a few commissioners, item H on your agenda is whether or not to participate in a lawsuit and this approval of $4,000 to support the defense efforts of Pung versus Isabella County, which is a future Supreme Court case. I, for one, would like more information on that before we go forward with that. So I think there's been some good discussion on that as far as just information and input from constituents. So I would entertain a motion to basically postpone that item H until we get some more information and possibly some attorney information on this ourselves. So,
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make that motion, remove that item H from the agenda.
Support. All right, motion by Tunison, support by Smelker to remove item H from the agenda or postpone that item from the agenda until we can gather more information. Is there discussion?
Larry had something, I don't know if he can
Well, I
just...
was just going to ask if we could still talk about it in the first public comments or wait till the second one.
Yes. I will, since it's on the agenda, I will allow comments for that at the first public comment.
Okay.
Especially if you came here just to make those comments. So, yes, that'll be fine. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Moving right along, limited public comment at this time. Any member of the public may address the board for up to 3 minutes.
Good morning. Rick Moore, Berrien County Parks and Rec, third-generation Hastings business person. I wish to remind everyone to speak into the microphone and use your outdoor voice, including the members here. You talk amongst themselves, and I can't quite hear you, and I don't know if other people can or not either. But one of these days, I'm going to get a hearing aid and be able to sneak into everything you're whispering about. But until that time, I'm here to impart wisdom and listen to folks, because I've never met a person yet that I couldn't learn something from. So thank you all for being here, and thank you all for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. The agenda on the agenda, talking about the agenda, I guess.
You forgot. All right. Two things that stood out to me on this $4,000. In your public notice, it was not in the public notice as being going to be on the agenda item. In your packet, there's no information except for the agenda request in your packet, which to me was totally ridiculous. Not even the request from Isabella County, if there was one. So that is important. Even at the start of the meeting today, your county chairman said only talked about the board and commission interviews, not about the $4,000. It seems that you wanted to have been hidden all the way through. So it's a good thing it got posted that, it was going to be out there. Berrien County taxpayer dollars should not be going to fund Isabella County's problem. They brought this problem on themselves. So I said, it's been out there. If governing bodies have been spending the money, then it's their problem, not the Berrien County taxpayers' problem and stuff. I don't like the idea of government going against the people, and I really wouldn't like the idea of Berrien County government going against Isabella County's people there. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Shelley Lake, Irving Township. I think you're going to hear plenty about this lawsuit. I've gotten pretty good at reading lawsuits and motions, and unfortunately, and it's a doozy. We don't want to be like Isabella County. I am interested in knowing how Berry County handles their surplus from foreclosure sales. Of course, it all can be FOIA'd, but I think you guys probably, Commissioner Smelker, we spoke, want to know exactly how it works here too. So that would be a great thing to kind of come out. How do we handle surpluses from foreclosure sales? And just the last thing, and I've mentioned it before, is to be sure to do your homework before the meetings and look into things, read about it. I know you have a lot of meetings to attend, I get it. But really do your research so that you don't just hear one side once you get here and it's presented for the first time. You have a pretty good grasp of what the item is on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional public comment?
Good morning. Stephanie Hester, Castleton Township. Am I good? All right. That was a good request, by the way. I'm too short for it. Mr. Jackson, you want to get more facts about the case, and I can appreciate that. I can appreciate having as much information as possible before making any decision. When it comes to lawsuits, though, even if we determine we have enough facts of the case, if that verdict has not come from the court, should we be supporting either side? I'm taking out my beliefs on this case and which side I think is right or wrong, and I certainly think that with use of taxpayer dollars, we should not be putting funds behind any case before it goes before that final court hearing and the actual verdict comes down. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional public comment?
Am I close enough, Rick? Larry Bass, Carlton Township. I believe that item H for consideration should be removed from the agenda and not discussed again in this meeting, frankly. I did some extensive research on this whole topic last night, and I know almost enough to be probably dangerous to some extent. Okay, I've got a litany of items down here. I'll give you a copy of it when I leave. I'm not going to get up now. It's going to take more than 3 minutes. I don't want to get buzzed. But there's already been a state Supreme Court ruling on returning the funds to the original property owner, the surplus funds. There's been a U.S. Supreme Court ruling about returning those funds to the original property owner. And Isabella County still has a surplus. So that alone should tell you something about Isabella County, what's going on. So thank you very much.
Okay.
There's a pretty good litany of what's going on.
I would,
13 minutes to do that.
wow. I appreciate the research. Thank you. Additional public comment?
Yeah, he's correct. There's one down by Detroit. It was over $8. And basically, for the public who doesn't know what's going on here, correct me if I'm wrong at any time, because I just read it yesterday, and I'm sitting there going, is this that same case? Is this where if somebody's later behind on their property taxes, that we go take their entire property? Is that, I don't know if that's correct or not, but it is correct. Okay, yeah, because there's already a case in the state Supreme Court that already settled that, and that was over $8. And what it was is there was a city, or I think it was a county, wasn't it? Yes. And the county went and took all the property over this $8 that was owed. And they sold his property, took the $8, and they kept the rest. And I'm sitting there going, whoa, you can't do that. We can't even do that. If I owe you money and we're doing what's called an execution of property, you only get what's entitled to you. So we had one up in Middleville. It was over $12,000, and it was like a $300,000 piece of property. And that guy went out and did what's called an allodial title on the property, so that's why it's still sitting vacant there. And the bank wants the property real bad, and he said, I'll sell it to you for $300,000, the allodial title. But anyways, we've had this discussion way back in 2006, 2007 on that same topic, and I don't agree with what they're trying to do. I think we should only be able to take the taxes we have coming to us. To me, it'd be stealing. And, you got $20,000 you owe them back taxes on property taxes, but your property's worth $500,000. Why do we get the other $500,000, or the rest of that $500,000? So I hope everybody understands what's going on there, so thank you.
Thank you. Additional public comment? Hearing none, we will move ahead with our agenda. Focus of today is interviews for boards and commissions. First up, we have Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council. Is Lois Bowers with us this morning? There she is. Good morning.
Good morning.
If you would tell us a little bit about yourself and why you see yourself being a good fit for the Area Agency on Aging.
Well, I'm a longtime resident, always lived, and worked at Consumers Energy, retired from Consumers Energy. And then I started volunteering because I always worked in customer service at COA and do the Medicare, Medicaid. Clients that come in. Very rewarding.
Have you been involved in other boards and commissions in the county?
Have I been what?
Have you been involved with other boards or commissions within the county?
I have not been in the county, but I have been the local, or the Battle Creek, Calhoun, and Berry County have the board that I have served for a number of years.
Okay, awesome. Questions from commissioners? Commissioner Bassett, we'll start off with you.
When you talk about the board in Battle Creek, is that the Region 3B area
It's
agency?
Carewell, yes.
Yes, it's Carewell.
Yep.
Okay. And you're
And
on,
we've been served on it, and we get all the state information and federal information at that meeting. We meet once a month.
and how many years have you been on that board?
How many years have I been on that board? I was trying to figure it out this morning, but I think it's 8 years now. I've been a counselor since 2007. So, yes. Like I say, it's very rewarding when you've been able to help that senior that does not understand what's going on. Very interesting when an 80-year-old person will come in and nobody with them to try and explain to them what coverage is best for them. So, as I say, it's very rewarding.
Commissioner Colton?
Something never, I'm on the Commission on Aging Board, as you know. How does the Area Agency on Aging, how's that different? How does it relate to the Berry County Commission on Aging Board?
Well, the funding, there's some funding that's involved in it, and they also help with different parts of the program.
Mm-hmm. How many counties are they working with?
How many counties?
Yeah.
Just Calhoun and Berry are in ours.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Getty?
I don't have any questions, but thank you for the years of service that you've provided.
Commissioner Smelker?
Thank you very much for applying, Lois. And can you tell me, as a Area Agency on Aging, do they fund Meals on Wheels, or is that strictly COA?
It's part of it.
Part of it. Can you tell me?
I can't give you very many figures.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Campbell?
Morning, Lois.
Hey.
Everybody knows you've been around Berry County a long time, very patient, supportive person.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Get that microphone on, Mr. Campbell.
This is not.
How's that, Rick? I'm okay now?
You can't hear.
Sorry, bud. You've been a well-known name in Berry County
many years, done lots of good things in the county, and I appreciate the fact that you're still willing to get out there and volunteer. Sometimes that volunteer job can get pretty rough. There's a lot of stuff involved with volunteering on things, but I see no reason why you wouldn't be a good fit for this position.
Awesome. Commissioner Tennyson.
Hi, Lois.
Hi.
I think you're a great advocate for seniors and what you do for seniors. So, did you hear me? Could you hear me at all? I said you're a great advocate for seniors of this county.
So what?
You're a great advocate for seniors.
Thank you.
Okay. So I want to thank you for...
And excited with the new building. Many questions when the seniors come in. You know, the first thing is they think, oh, that's so far out. But, you know, really, it is not.
No.
And many of those that have driven in from the county to COA now have driven probably 5 miles. You know, so.
Right. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Any additional questions from commissioners? We appreciate your application and coming out on such a beautiful day this morning.
I'm going up and take clients this morning, so, thank you.
You are welcome to stay for the meeting, or if you'd like to go, we will notify
I've got 3
you.
clients waiting for me.
Okay. Well, you are excused, and we will let you know what we decide. Thank you, Lois. Next on our list, let's see, 9:15, we had somebody interviewed that withdrew their application. 9:25 is Robert Walbaum. Robert could not be with us this morning. He was not feeling well. But if you would take a moment and look in your packet, you'll see his resume is attached. So, he's also applying, he listed Area Agency on Aging, Central Dispatch Authority, Berry County Parks and Rec. So currently works at Consumers Concrete, 26 years as a dispatcher, and 2 years with the National Wildlife Service in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Not a lot of information on the resume. So when we're done this morning, we'll review that again, and if we feel that that's a fit, or if you want to interview him, we will. Otherwise, if there's another appointment you like, we can certainly consider Robert in the future as well. So, any questions on Robert? Any input? I don't know if anybody has a relationship or has spent time.
I guess I have a question. On his resume or application, he answered no to a felony, but right under there, it says, if yes, state where, and he put Michigan. Oh, hopefully that's an error, but...
Okay. Good catch. Any additional questions or comments?
I think I understand that. He's saying, no, he did not commit a felony. He did not commit a felony in Michigan. I don't, is that?
We're interpreting.
Yeah.
Okay, we will come back to that. Next up, Central Dispatch Administrative Board. Cindy. Good morning.
Good morning.
If you would tell us a little bit about yourself. I see you're currently on the Central Dispatch Administrative Board. Any input, ideas, or a little bit of background would be appreciated.
Great. I have lived in Berry County for 17 years in Delton, started as the school superintendent for Delton Kellogg Schools. I have served on the Central Dispatch Board for 11 years. In addition, I have been on the Berry County United Way Board. In addition to being superintendent of schools, when I retired from being a superintendent in Stevensville Lakeshore in 2013, I came back and I was talking to Lanny Forbes about wanting to re-engage in Berry County. I wasn't sure how to do that, and at that point she asked me if I would be interested in applying to serve on the 911 dispatch board. And so I then met with Phyllis Fuller, who was the director at the time, and talked to her about what was required on that board, and felt it would be a good fit with my background, and it certainly would give me the chance to have a positive impact on Berry County. And so I did that, and that was 11 years ago. So I still enjoy being on that board. I think it's a critical board for public safety, not only of our citizens, but of the first responders. In my first term, I spent the first couple of years getting to know more about how the 911 dispatch center operated and what role I should play as a board member. And I used Doug Hartaw as a mentor. Doug and I both served on the Personnel Committee and negotiated the contracts. And shortly after joining the board, Phyllis Fuller took a position with another company. And so we had to find a new director. Unfortunately, at that time, Doug passed. And so I was asked to step in as the chair of the Personnel Committee. And my first big job on that committee was to hire a new director. And so the board interviewed candidates, and we are very proud to say we hired Stephanie, who's done an amazing job. We also had to negotiate contracts that year with our unionized and non-unionized employees. So during my tenure as the chair of personnel, we negotiated 2 5-year contracts with our unionized staff. And we also decided it was important to be collaborative with finance, so we did bring in John Smelker as chair of the Finance Committee before finalizing any negotiations and making any decisions about salary, to make sure that it was in line with the Finance Committee's thoughts on that as well, and that has continued to today. About 3 years ago, I was asked to join John on the Finance Committee. There were some changes being made in the Finance Committee area, and Lanny asked me if I would move into finance. And so for the last few years, I've worked with John directly and worked to make sure that we have the funding to provide the services needed for our citizens and for our first responders. Does that help you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Appreciate that. You look pretty good for having to work with Commissioner Smelker for those years, so I appreciate that, so you know.
It's a
I'm nicer there than I am here.
So, Commissioner Smelker, since you are on that board, we will allow you to start.
I don't really have any questions for Cindy. She's an intricate part of the 911 Administrative Board and especially of my Finance Committee. With her background in budgeting and being superintendent of schools and stuff, her knowledge is vast, and I appreciate her a lot, and I will be voting for Cindy.
Okay. Commissioner Getty.
My interactions with Cindy over the years have been just stellar. I mean, she has so many skills and experience to bring to the position, and I'm just happy that she's willing to continue.
Thanks, Catherine.
Commissioner Carlton.
I have no questions, but thank you for what you've done, and I really respect the opinions of both John and Catherine, so I'll be following their lead.
And I appreciate you. You probably don't remember, but I did work for the Berry County Economic Development Alliance for 5 years when you were a legislator, and had the pleasure of working with you at that time.
Okay.
So thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bassett.
Well, I've known Cindy a long time. In fact, I was on the school board when we brought her into Delton to be our superintendent. So I have a long history, really good history with you, Cindy, and admire all you've done. And now I'm glad as you've retired that you continue to give back to our county. So
Thank you.
appreciate that and all you've already done. And yeah, I look forward to what you can do down the road.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Commissioner Tunison.
Well, from what I'm hearing from everybody is that you're really good at what you do. Okay? And you bring a great perspective, I'm assuming, to that board out there, so, thank you for reapplying, okay? And using your skills, so thank you.
Commissioner Campbell.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Bruce, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
There's not much left to say. I've known Cindy quite a long time. Matter of fact, I was an employee of hers many years ago. And the fact that she never fired me meant something. So
She wanted to, though. She wanted to.
We wanted
About
you to
Cindy.
stay.
is she's not just a volunteer for stuff, she's actually a doer. She doesn't just do it for the title, she does it to do the job, and she always does that job. So I'm glad you're here.
Thanks. I miss your donuts, by the way.
Thank you. I was previously the donut king of Dowling.
Yes.
These meetings, I tell you. So, Cindy, I have no questions. As I've reached out and talked to people, Commissioner Smelker, the director, that they're all very appreciative of the work you've continued to do there, you know, your dedication to that, so it's good to have that expertise on that board. So we appreciate you coming back and being willing to continue to serve on that board.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you, thank you. We have 3 applicants for that position for Central Dispatch Administrative Board. There is 1 position open. Robert Walbaum, again, had put in for that position, but he is not here, as you've seen his resume in the previous segment. Jake Wiggins. Is Jake here this morning? I know Jake was scheduled for 9:45, so we are working ourselves ahead of schedule here. So if Jake comes in, we will interview him at a future point in time this morning. Okay, commissioners, keep that open potentially. Next up, Commission on Aging Board. We have 4 positions available. We have 5 applicants. Is Robin Berg with us this morning?
Early, ain't it?
Yeah, we are very ahead of schedule. So 9:55 was her scheduled time. Cheryl Lewis Blake. Good morning.
Good morning. I've had foot surgery, so I'm a little slow.
My wife just had meniscus surgery a few weeks ago, so I'm used to slow right now. So, but anyways, good morning, Cheryl. If you would tell us a little bit about yourself, and I see that you are currently on that board. If you give us a little bit of your background, history, your interaction with the board, that'd be appreciated.
Sure. So I have been in Berry County since 2007. I came as the CEO of Pennock Hospital, and my husband and I chose to retire in Berry County. And I was raised in a small community in Indiana where my parents modeled giving back to the community, and so that's a value that's near and dear to me. And so since being retired, I've been involved in a couple of organizations in the community. Was president of Rotary last year, involved in our church, helped with the Blue Zones project, and decided that I really wanted to give back to COA because my father, who was in his late 80s, had dementia, and so when he came and stayed with us, he took advantage of the COA day program, and he just really loved the program. I got to know the people at the COA and found that they are just unbelievably giving and wonderful individuals, and the impact that the COA has on the community is profound. So I'm all about improving the health of our community, right? Well, health includes a lot of different things. It includes food, it includes access to care, but it also involves the socialization and the quality of life for older adults, and the COA is a vital component of that. Currently, I'm on the board. I have the privilege of serving as board chair this last year. I'm on the Finance and Personnel Committee, and of course, hello friends, I'm on the steering committee for the facility. And so it's a privilege to volunteer there, and I hope to be granted the opportunity to continue to do so.
Absolutely appreciate that. Commissioner Carlton, you are a representative from the commission on that board, if you'd like to start.
Cheryl is tremendous. She's the chair of our board. She is showing us great leadership, and I encourage all my fellow board members to support her.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Commissioner Bassett?
Well, Cheryl's another person that I've known for a long
Long
time.
time.
Long time. She actually hired me when I went to work for Pennock many, many years ago. So not only have I known her, but I've also gotten to work under her leadership. Just a tremendous leader, very insightful, very knowledgeable. And I really, again, appreciate that in your retirement, you're choosing this to serve on this board, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Commissioner Getty?
I've had the pleasure of working with Cheryl on a number of projects, and as it pertains to the COA and the steering committee and her leadership, during this this construction period and the fundraising, I don't hesitate to say that she has been critical in moving that project forward. And her insight into capital projects and construction projects and her, just her general leadership. I can't imagine moving forward without her.
Commissioner Smelker?
Never had the pleasure of serving on the board with Cheryl, but a lot of different meetings and get-togethers I go to, I always see Cheryl. And I am very glad that she put in for COA again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Campbell?
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
I don't know Cheryl as well as my wife does. My wife was a volunteer at the hospital when Cheryl was there.
Yeah, amazing woman.
I can honestly say my wife never had one harsh word about Cheryl. She always spoke so highly of her. And my wife is pretty smart. She only made one bad choice in her whole life. So I'm glad you're here, and I hope you get this position.
Thank you. Commissioner Tennyson?
Well, I've had the privilege of sitting on with that steering committee, and I value your opinion every time you bring something up. I think what you bring to the table, you're a huge asset for your knowledge of life, everything you've dealt with at the hospital, and all the vision that you have for the COA has been invaluable to all of us, I think, your insight. So I want to tell you that it's been a privilege for me to sit there with you.
No, I'm so humbled. I feel the same way about the persons that I have the privilege of being able to work with. So thank you, Bob.
I don't have any questions, other than the fact that, number one, we appreciate your application and your leadership on this board. The COA is kind of entering a new phase where we're going into a different facility at some point in the near future. We've talked about some rebranding. We've talked about a lot of different things, and the organization, I think, as a whole, has got a great group of people, but that leadership and that skill set going forward is very important to how that future turns out. So we appreciate you being the board chair, taking all that input, molding that into a path forward. Sometimes is easier than, others, but so thank you for your application and your service to the community. So in there, we will make a decision on this and get back with you later on today.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cheryl. Also, we had Lois Bowers, which we already had a chance to interview Lois, so she also applied for this position. Terry Dennison. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Same question, if you would like to start out giving us a little bit of background on yourself and your connection to COA. I know you've been on that board for a little while, and kind of your vision for this going forward as well.
Okay, I'm Terry Dennison. I was born in Hastings. I've been on the board since 2002. It's been a long journey to this point. A very happy time for me being on the board all these years. But like I said, it's been a long journey. I started on the board at the Michigan Avenue spot and with Tammy Pennington. And then we moved to Woodlawn. And my big input there was probably getting more space for line dancing. They were going to give us 10 feet in front of the stage, just the stage part. So my teacher at that time, and I went up and we really begged and begged and begged to have more space. Thank heavens, because the line dance group has gotten larger and they need the space. Anyway, now we're almost to the point that I'm ecstatic about, as you people know, because I've been on the board so long and I've wanted to have this happen. And about 2 or 3 years ago, when we had a change in leadership on the commission and other people that were really interested, who got elected to help us, like Bob over here, it just happened so fast. It was like magic. I mean, they came in and suddenly, here we are. I was just a few months away from having this new building, which is going to be wonderful for Berry County and the seniors of Berry County.
Absolutely. Commissioner Colton?
I remember when I was previously a commissioner, gosh, that was like 15, 20 years ago, and I was on the Commission on Aging Board then, and Terry was on it then. Terry is, and you look younger than you did then. I don't know how you do it. But he is, like, Tammy Pennington was running it then. All the other board members are gone. You are the only one that was there when I was previously there. And I've appreciated working with you. I also had the opportunity to see you dance in a production of, I think, Anchors Away. That was in Nashville, I think, or was it Ships Ahoy?
Yeah, anything goes.
Anything goes.
I was a Chinese person in that.
I didn't want to say Chinese, but yeah, I was impressed. And was it tap dancing?
Yes.
Yeah, I was impressed. Well, if you can tap dance, can you still do it?
I had a hip replaced in 2018, but in December that year, I was on stage tap dancing.
All right, you got my vote.
I did my own choreography, so I know what I can do, because you can't stomp when you've had hip surgery. And there's a lot of stomping and tap dancing, so that had to be eliminated.
You tap dance with one foot?
I could tap dance sitting down in a chair. I really could.
Okay.
And my feet are always going.
Well, if you can do that, you got my vote.
Challenge we're going to have here? Commissioner Bassett?
Well, I've never actually met Terry, but I've read about him in the paper, and I've heard a lot about you in our community, so I'm really happy that you've been on this board this long and you want to continue to serve, because I think you bring a bright spot, a bright person, a bright influence onto that board. So I don't have any questions.
It's been a joy.
Great candidate.
Commissioner Tennyson?
What an asset, right? You're a great asset, but you're right, we're going to get it over the finish line. That was one thing I think that all of us felt when we first became commissioners and we had a little board change here, is that we needed to do something about the Commission on Aging building, because when that snow all melts up there, you know where that water's going to be going?
Men's bathroom.
Men's bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's something that we're all going to be proud of, the whole community, right? It's been a community effort, but it takes a lot of good people to be involved with that, just like you, okay? And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Commissioner Campbell?
Hi, Terry.
Hi.
We dancing today, or?
Well, when I was the alumnus of the year, they told me I couldn't tap dance.
Okay.
I wanted to tap dance instead of giving a speech. So when they called my name to come up to get my award, I tap danced up to the microphone.
Yeah. Well.
So I did get the chance to tap dance.
Well, what do you say about Terry? He's been there, he's done that, he's been on it for a long time. You know, education is always a great tool, but you just can't replace experience no matter what you're working in. And you've got the experience, and it's always been good for the county. I'm just glad you're here and glad you're willing to still do this. We have a great thing coming. I've always been a huge proponent of, if we as a county don't take care of our seniors, it says an awful lot about our county, and it's not good. That we're taking care of our seniors is saying great things about Berry County.
You are right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Smelker?
Thank you for reapplying, Terry. Never been on a board with you, but I do believe you hold the record that you've been in front of me the most of anybody for interviews. So, thank you. And it's been for the same board.
There you go. Commissioner Getty?
I appreciate all those years of service. I've only heard good things about you, and I would definitely think he's an asset to the COA.
Thank you.
Thank you. 2002 is a long time to be on one consecutive board, so your service is appreciated there, and I have to say that when we were doing the planning meetings to set up and talk about the new Commission on Aging facility, I don't think there was anybody more enthusiastic when we approved that, and the smile on your face said it all, and you were bouncing around. So it was like, here's someone that must have been thinking about this for a long time, because your energy, goes without saying. Very good. So we appreciate that energy and helping our seniors and moving this county forward in that direction. So can't wait to see what you're going to do with all that space at the new building. So we'll see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Robin Berg is here.
Robin is here. Okay.
In the hallway.
Yeah, if you could bring Robin in, that would be appreciated. Good morning. We're running ahead of schedule today, so we were just going through it, but you were fine. You were fine. So you're right on time. But if you would start out telling us a little bit about yourself and maybe any association you've had with the COA and why you'd see yourself being a good fit for the Commission on Aging.
Yeah, so my name is Robin Berg. I've been in leadership for 15-plus years, and I've worked in the healthcare system for probably just as long. I love giving back to the community, and I'm at a point in my life where I'm starting to wind down, retire, thinking about retirement and what do I want to do and keep myself busy. So I think one of my fondest memories is, I worked for a local provider that retired, and I just absolutely loved working with the elderly when they came in, and just I have a passion for that, and I just feel like, with my leadership skills, working in healthcare, I also have a real estate license, so it's another tool I can, I have in my tool belt. I feel like with the knowledge in these different areas that I would be a good fit for the board.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit more about your leadership experience.
Yeah, so I currently have a team I work for a local healthcare system. I work at home full-time. And I have a team of 30 team members in professional coding. So I have that healthcare billing and coding knowledge.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Commissioner Colton.
So go over with me again any background you have with working with the aging population.
Yeah, so I worked for a local provider who is retired. He was in the community, so I worked in the office. I would help the elderly all the time, the patients that would come in. I would help them, sometimes with their billing and coding questions, things like that. Just kind of help them navigate through any questions that they had as they came into the office.
Okay, so do you know enough about our President Commission on Aging? See things that you like or see things that you may see improvement on?
Yeah, so I attended one of your meetings in October, and there was someone that was speaking on just the housing issue and just how there's not enough affordable housing, and I actually have a real passion for that. That was one of the reasons, I got my real estate license, partly is to just give back to the community and just, as I retire, just give me something to do. But there's a credential that I'm actually wanting to pursue this winter. It's called the SRES, and it's a credential in real estate. And it really specializes in the elderly and, how to help them navigate through, the different housing questions they may have, or transitioning into that next stage, if it's downsizing or if it's, long-term facility, just helping those families navigate through that. And it's just been a real passion for me. So when you had someone speak on, just affordable housing, what does that look like? That's definitely something I would like to help with. I think it's not only something that affects the elderly population, but just even the younger generation. I mean, my youngest moved back home after living on her own for 10 years because she doesn't have affordable housing and she can't live on her own anymore. So it's definitely something within the community I would like to help with.
Well, it's definitely a problem.
Absolutely.
I know a woman in her 70s trying to get an apartment, but there's like no vouchers available for the rent assistance.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost her, at least $800 a month for a one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, I mean, and the average rent is between $1,300-$1,400 a month. I mean, people can't afford that. And being part of the Grand Rapids Realtor Association too, I attended a meeting, and I know that they're working in communities trying to find solutions to help within the community for affordable housing. So it's definitely something that is in my radar that I want to help with.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bassett.
Hi, Robin. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. So I know Robin from working with her in the past. We worked in the healthcare field together for a few years. Glad to see that you're applying for this board.
Thank you.
And welcome to the retiree community here. It sounds like you're thinking about doing that.
I am. Cannot wait.
I hear that. Let me ask you this. Have you sat on any other boards other than this would
I
be
have
your
not.
first?
This is my first. I mean, I've done, ASO soccer, things like that when my kids were younger, but not a county board, no.
Okay. Well, you've answered a lot of my questions. Of course, I know a lot about you and your history. So, I'm glad you're applying for this board.
Thank you.
I'm sure Commissioner Bassett could have a long conversation with you about affordable housing and some of the initiatives that she's working on as well.
Awesome.
So you two might be a good team for that, so.
Awesome.
Commissioner Tunison.
Sounds like you got a lot of knowledge that you could pass on, and especially when seniors have to possibly think about, selling their house.
Yeah.
And, moving into assisted living or a condo or whatever, where they're going to need some more help, right? So,
absolutely.
I think it sounds to me like you've got the knowledge for that.
Yeah, I do.
It sounds to me like you'd be a great asset for that.
Yeah, thank you. I actually had to navigate through that before I was a realtor when my mom passed away, and that's kind of what just started that. It's like, and I had someone I knew who was a realtor that I trusted, but it was complicated, it was confusing, and I thought, okay, I want to help somehow in this, so it just kind of led me down that path.
Thank you. Thanks for applying.
Thank you.
Commissioner Campbell.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I love the word affordable housing. You hear that word all the time. Everything's affordable housing if you got enough money.
Yeah.
I hear places going up, it's affordable housing, and it's $1,500 a month.
Yep.
So affordable housing is a very deceptive terminology.
Yes, it is.
In my book. It's all affordable if you got plenty of money. But I think you'd be great for this job. You got lots of experience. Only words of wisdom I got you is you are really not retiring. You are just moving locations, as many of us have found out. But it's a good thing you're trying to do, and
thank you.
It's great to have you on board.
Yep. Commissioner Smelker?
I have no questions. Thank you very much for applying.
Okay. Commissioner Getty?
All my questions have been answered, but I am really appreciative of your background in medical billing, and I think it's going to be really important to help seniors navigate the healthcare system and their choices. And your housing, and the real estate background is really helpful as well. So I think both of those will really be assets for COA.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. I have no further questions, Robin. I appreciate your application on that too, and it looks like you'd be a good fit for that position. So we will make a decision and let you know on this later on today or by letter. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you like, or if you have to go, you can go.
Okay.
If you're busy as well, so thank you.
All right. Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Okay. Next up, Douglas Mendick.
Morning.
Good morning. If you would just give us a little background on yourself. I see that you're also on the Commission on Aging Board at this time. Give us a little background information
I am.
and your experience with that.
So, I'm Doug Smendick. I'm a family practitioner and started a practice in Middleville over 30 years ago. So I was independent for years until Spectrum acquired Pennock Hospital and then became a leader through Spectrum. Oversaw 11 offices with Spectrum Health, many leadership positions in that, and have for years referred patients to Council on Aging for their services. Having been a board member, I see how much more they do than just Meals on Wheels. And that's, I think, what many people visualize the Commission on Aging as. One of my excitements is seeing the development of the new building. That's going to be huge. And I think trying to get younger seniors involved in the Commission on Aging is an important thing for our future.
Absolutely. Thank you. Commissioner Colton.
Sounds like an oxymoron, younger seniors.
Well, I am.
I consider myself a younger senior. I think I became a senior when I was 50. I got my first senior coffee at McDonald's.
There you go.
But Doug is a tremendous asset. Whenever you can have a physician, oh my God, a physician on the board to have that knowledge and have that perspective on the actual, it's mind, body, and souls, that you're looking at. And so definitely he understands the bodies and then we can struggle talking about the minds and souls. But he's a great asset, and I definitely support you staying on the board.
Thank you. Commissioner Bassett?
Well, hi.
Let me guess, you know Doug too.
I've known him for many years. In fact, I was at Pennock and came in and worked with him in his practice and transitioned him from his private practice into a practice with.
It was a big deal.
It was a big deal. So we've worked together in many capacities, a lot of history. So I don't have any questions for him. I'm just feeling that this is just wonderful that you want to be on this board, and I think what a huge asset you are for this Commission on Aging position. I really am thankful that you want to do that. So he'd be a huge asset there, as he already has been.
Awesome. Commissioner Getty?
I don't have any questions, just thankful that you're willing to continue to serve.
Thank you.
I know you bring a lot to the board.
Commissioner Smelker?
I have no questions for Doug. I've carried mail in Middleville for 21 years, so I knew him in Middleville. And I have to apologize, I didn't recognize where you come in. I haven't seen you with...
Semi-retirement.
Thank you for applying.
Thank you.
Commissioner Campbell?
I'm having a hard time calling him Douglas. I have known him as Dr. Spendick. Myself, my wife, family, friends have used him somewhere in the past during the years. That's my affiliation with him. I'm still here. He's a great doctor. He's going to be a great addition.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Commissioner Tunison?
Yeah, thanks for giving back, Doug.
Thank
really,
you.
seriously. I know your passion, that you care about people. And,
very much so.
And obviously you very much care about seniors and their path forward. So thanks again for...
Thank you.
Again.
Awesome. I don't have any questions. I know we had interviewed you in the past when we appointed you for the first time, and we were excited of your application and your reapplication, so we appreciate your continued willingness to serve and help the leadership of that board as we go through that transition.
I appreciate you letting me serve. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bye.
Okay, that wraps up our interviews for Commission on Aging. Parks and Recreation, Daryl Cheeseman. Morning, Daryl.
Good morning.
If you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, I know you are an incumbent on that board. Give us a little background as far as what you see with the parks and recreation and how this transition has worked with you being involved in it.
Okay, well, it
Some
started
insight?
as antique tractors and going to Charlton Park for the antique tractor shows. And shortly after starting that, I started going to the board meetings. Next thing I know, I'm on the board. That was 2007. So for years, it was just overseeing Charlton Park. And then fast forward to putting Parks and Rec and Charlton Park boards together and forming the Berry County Parks and Rec Commission. Now it's Charlton Park, McEwen Bridge Park, Bailey Nature Preserve, the trail systems. A lot has happened, a lot's in the works. I'm really excited to have Bailey Nature Preserve. I work down there whenever I get a few minutes. Tons of work to do down there for smart people stuff and boots on the ground stuff like what I prefer to do. And working on trails, trying to help maintain trails, new trail projects that are popping up. Apparently I'm going to be helping on one in Middleville here directly. So, I've been doing it quite a while. I appreciate the group of people that help work on parks and trails. We have a wonderful Parks Commission. And there's big projects in the works with getting Bailey whipped into shape and more accessible. We've got a grant to do some improvements at Charlton Park for a location to have educational programs. Just a lot to do, and I'm still willing to keep working on getting those things accomplished.
Okay. Commissioner Getty, would you like to lead us off?
Daryl's incredibly humble. He really is a key member to the Parks Board, and more importantly, he really puts in a lot of work. He just doesn't show up for board meetings and push paper. He's out there with a chainsaw when a tree falls down. He's just been an incredible volunteer and makes stuff happen through just sheer blood, sweat, and tears. I just appreciate his leadership on our board so much. And if Dan Patton was here, he would say the same thing. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here this morning, but I know he supports Daryl's reappointment.
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Colton.
You know what I've liked in the last, I know Charlton Park is a hard thing to maintain what you got, to maintain these older structures and stuff. And sometimes that completely, takes up all the energies. But you've gone above and beyond that by improving the trail system with the Bailey Nature Reserve, new things. And, in Nashville, some guys at the coffee table, the round table, will complain that all Berry County's parks are like Charlton Park in a way. But now with what you've done with that trail in Nashville, the paving of it, what's that, about a mile? How much is the length of that? Wow, really great. I've always ridden my bike before it was paved, and it's so much nicer now that it's paved. So, appreciate your leadership, and I definitely support you to stay on the board.
Thank you. Yes, we try to be countywide as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You get off in the fringes of the county, and maybe they associate more with Kalamazoo than they do Berry County at all, really. But one of the things that we've been doing a good job at as far as being countywide is the mini grant program, allocating county dollars to different townships for.
You got Nashville this year for that ballpark.
Yep.
Really appreciate it. So now we don't feel left out anymore.
We'll work on that. Mr. Bassett.
Speaking of the fringes, so I happen to be from Delton, and I think that's one of those fringe areas that I look forward to seeing some more development in. Love to see that you've been on the board and all that you've done there. Since I've been on this board, I've come to appreciate all the additional energy and additional resources we've put into our parks, and also know how important that is, because that's part of our charm, our character of Berry County is our park system. So appreciate all that you've done. I'm curious to think, so as you look to the future, if you had to pick one thing that you wanted to achieve during your time there, what would it be?
Personal achievement?
Personal achievement.
Better access to the lake at Bailey and getting a nice trail system developed there, and it's more of a project than I can even try to wrap my head around, but getting a handle on the invasive species down there. But I mean, my heart is originally with Charlton Park. Anything we can do to promote Charlton Park, and then Catherine and some of these other people that have been working so hard on getting connecting trails system from 108th Street down to Middleville. Last Saturday I went out and looked with a fella and going to be working up there on some of that stuff. So it's hard to pick just one. I love Charlton Park as much as I can love any material thing, but starting to work on Bailey is exciting, and the trails are, as I have time, fun to work on.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much.
Commissioner Tucson.
Thanks, Darrell, for reapplying. You talk about promoting Charlton Park. How can we promote Charlton Park so you get more when we have more events, or whether we have more people going there? You mentioned promoting Charlton Park.
Right, so I don't know, getting people, everybody's so cotton picking busy, right? You think you've created a few minutes and next thing you know it's gone. Charlton Park is free to enter and enjoy all days of the year, except for when we have to collect revenue to offset costs for special events. It would be nice just to get people to get it in their head, hey, when I get a chance, we should go to Charlton Park. The special events, we've got our traditional ones. We've tried, like the lumberjack show, things that you would just do periodically once in a great while. We try not to have too many special event weekends tie up the park, because there's so many people that like to get married out there and go do photography out there, family pictures, that sort of stuff. The special events, they create some revenue, but a lot of times it's just making more than what you spent. I've been club president of the Gas and Steam Club for like 12 years now, and the finance part of a special event is just making sure you cover your expenses. This year we hosted the State International Harvester Collectors Show, and we hauled in extra special exhibits that have to come by semi, and it's expensive. It's $2,000 per trip to and from Jackson, and luckily with sponsorship dollars from a lot of community businesses and a couple individuals, we were able to offset those costs to where we stayed profitable, but it's always a challenge. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, promoting it's so hard to advertise in the newspaper because it's so expensive as far as letting people know that way. We try to do what we can on Facebook to promote the park and our special events, but I don't know. I don't have the exact answer for that. I mean, it's something we always work on, and getting someone that can wordsmith articles to be run in the paper would be helpful. But again, the paper's kind of an expensive way to advertise these days.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Campbell.
Hey, Darrell.
Hey.
How's it going?
I miss those Dowling cookies and donuts too, by the way.
I'm gonna have to resign and go back into cooking. That's twice today now.
Have you seen any donuts?
I'm missing my forte. I understand exactly what you're talking about on those extra things going on, the VFW on a smaller basis. You get the crowd in there, but at what cost? It's always that, it's such a tough balance. It's not usually a big profit thing, but what it does do, when you bring all those extra people in, it gets them aware of the park. And then maybe next weekend or the month later, they'll come back with their families or, so, you know, I look for that publicity thing when I put on an event more than the profit from it, because it gets you known much. But as far as Darrell, which is what we're concerned with today, other than Catherine on the Parks Commission, I've discussed many things off and on with her. You've been the one board member that has always came up to me and asked me, Mr. Campbell, how's it going today? Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that pertaining to the park? So I know you're a very committed soul to the parks, and we need those. And you're not afraid to get out there and get dirty, and we need those too.
Yeah, thank you.
So I appreciate you.
Like, we've been making strides in getting Charlton Park more known outside of just, say, a 50-mile radius. You know, like I mentioned, hauling in a special exhibit from Jackson. The one was owned by a fellow that lives in the Jackson area. The other that piggybacked on that ride is a fellow from Canada who had a tractor here being worked on. And during the show, he's like, what are you featuring next? Because we're going to start making this one of our regular things that we do during the summer. So, you know, getting tied in with other tractor clubs and stuff, like the group up to Buckley. We've got guys that come down from the Traverse City area on a regular basis now. We're doing the special features. We've got a group of guys that comes from the Detroit area on a regular basis now. And that group seems to be growing. You know, now it's sons and nephews and so on that come with them. So little by little, we're working on getting to where people recognize us and have come there initially and want to come back.
Yeah, it's a beautiful look at the past, and it's something that I think is only going to get more and more valuable and less available. And I just see that someday that's going to be not just a local destination, but a destination for people in general coming into our state. They want to see Charlton Park, a destination, and that's what.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys like you make it happen.
I have a lot of good help too.
Commissioner Smelker.
Getting off of Charlton Park just a little bit, but I read in the paper where I believe the Conservation District got a grant to help clean up some area around Thornapple Lake and Thornapple River.
Yep.
Do you think this will benefit Charlton Park around the beach?
Oh, absolutely. If we could do something to improve the watershed coming into and around Thornapple Lake, absolutely. I mean, we're on the side of the flow where all the trash comes to our shore, right? So, yeah, absolutely. I hope that we can do something. I only just recently at a meeting found out about that the district had gotten that grant. So, yeah, I'm really excited to hope that we can do something to improve the watershed there, because it needs some improvement. And you know, it's not just Charlotte. When you talk about water quality and beach water quality and stuff like that, it's not just Charlton Park that's affected by that. It just so happens that they only test public beaches, and lo and behold, we're a public beach, so we get tested on a regular basis, as long as the funding holds.
Thank you, Darrell.
Yep.
Absolutely. Darrell, I don't have any questions. We've worked together for many years. Good to know that boots on the ground, in the ground, on the ground, all over the ground, not just a board member, you're active. So, and that's what that park commission needs, is people like you. So I appreciate your reapplication and your commitment to the parks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
May I make one more comment?
All right. Is it about donuts?
Okay. I missed this, and I didn't want to miss this today, talking to you and Catherine. Your grant that Johnstown Township got out there, one of my townships, so I'm very proud of. The grant, although the project was much larger than a grant, the grant stimulated their thinking. And I hate to brag, no, I don't hate to brag. Johnstown Township Park that they've put up there is absolutely amazing and beautiful for a township park.
It is.
And it would never have happened had you made that step to award them that grant. But they just seen it, it stimulated it, and it turned into something beautiful down there.
Yeah, well, thank you right back to you guys, because this is where it starts, right here in this room. Right here in this room is where that funding starts, and there's never a lack of quality applications for those dollars. And yeah, what Johnstown did with it, that year, I think it was supposed to be split between Johnstown and Baltimore Townships, and Baltimore Township folks got cold feet, got nervous about the project, whatever, and so you guys got it all, and what you did with that, yeah, like if it was just a seed, it was a good seed.
It was a great seed. It's amazing.
That is an amazing park to put together down there.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you.
Next up for Parks and Rec Commission interviews, Matthew Lewis. Matthew with us this morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for wading through this with us, but if you'd tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, maybe your connection to the parks in Berry County, and why you see yourself being a good fit for this board.
Yeah, so I graduated from Hastings, ended up going to Ferris State University for business administration. Got out of Ferris, and for about 10, 12 years, I have worked outside in nature, really, building retaining walls, patios, outdoor kitchens. So most of my work all my life has been outside, out in nature. I have three young daughters, and like many residents probably in Berry County or probably everywhere, I don't really have the extra money laying around to take my kids on vacation or to go somewhere. So we try to stay around here to do stuff. Luckily, I live in Middleville, and the Paul Henry Trail runs right through downtown Middleville. So we've been lucky enough to be able to go to there quite often. Also, we utilize Shelton Park quite a bit. Been to many different events there. The Civil War reenactment, Valley State Car Show. My family's quite big with antique tractors, which Shelton Park has twice a year. We've probably been to the last 10 events probably for that. So, I want people to understand that Berry County has something special and that it should be preserved for future generations. It's something that possibly can have some other unique special events at some point. But I haven't been able to check out the Bailey's Park or anything like that. But I would say Shelton Park's probably the most that my family has appreciated so far.
Fantastic, thank you. Commissioner Getty.
I appreciate, there's a lot of pressures on your time as a young family, and I appreciate you wanting to step up and, further your engagement with the board, in addition to your involvement with the Gas and Steam Club. Because it is, Charlton Park is about more than the historic village, although that's a big investment that we need to protect. But there's, a vast recreation area there as well. And so we need people, like you, that are willing to serve and really, help with those efforts. So appreciate you coming on board. Have you ever served on any other boards or committees?
No, I have not. Nope.
Well, we're a friendly bunch, so shouldn't be a problem.
Commissioner Smelker.
Thank you for applying, Matthew. Have you ever been to any of the Parks and Rec Board meetings?
No, I have not.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Commissioner Carlton.
How old are your girls?
They are 8, 7, and 3.
And what do they seem to really like to do the most?
They like going to Shelton Park for the tractor shows. My family, my cousins, my grandparents, we all bring tractors down there, and so my kids get to play with their cousins all weekend. It's kind of a 3-day event, and they have a really fun time riding their bikes and playing with all their cousins down at Shelton Park.
Do you yourself have a antique tractor?
I do, yeah.
What do you got?
I have a 1953 Golden Jubilee Ford and a 1952 Farmall Super C. And I take them up to the Mackinac Bridge to do the bridge cross every year in September. And like I said, I go to Shelton Park twice a year for their events.
Fantastic. Well, I like it. I like the fact that you've been really involved in the park. And now you want to step up to the board, so that's really appreciated you applying.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bassett.
Yeah, I echo what my fellow commissioners say. I always like to see young people, young families get involved in these positions because we need that insight as we look at things. So as you step back, you're a father of young children. What would be, if you are on the board, what would be your goal as you go on to that board? Like, what would you like to see that board achieve during your tenure there?
I remember taking a survey, I can't remember how long ago, it was a year or two ago, about improvements that Shelton Park should make. And I think they listed like 10 different ones. They asked you to pick 2, and I think I remember saying that I would like to improve or make more available camping spots down there because for the tractor show, we always camp down there for the 3 nights. And then another thing I said I think should be improved on is some of the bathroom facilities. One of the bathrooms, I believe on the north side of the village, using the restroom, you kind of see water on the floor leaking, and sometimes you don't know exactly where that water's coming from. So it kind of concerns you a little bit. So I think for people to come to the park, see what it has to offer, and want them to keep on coming back, they need to be comfortable. And I think, having comfortable places there, like restrooms, better restrooms, would, be a plus.
Thank you. Thank you for applying.
Commissioner Tudison.
Well, here's a young man you can tell has got some passion about the outdoors, right? And you can tell he's also a young man that can bring his family there, enjoy it, but you can also tell he's going to get his hands dirty too. So I think he'd be a great asset on that board.
Thanks.
Personally, I do. Thank you.
Commissioner Campbell.
Oh, Matt.
Hello.
I would expect you to notice that leak at the bathroom being associated with qualified maintenance and home improvement. So
Yeah.
you're a guy that's looking, and that's good. We always need those people around. I was in that myself at the school for 32 years,
Okay.
so I enjoy the comradeship on that one. Youth is great, and sometimes we think somebody has to have been on a board before or something to do a good job, but I think there's a place in this world for fresh eyes all the time, because we do get tied up in certain things and stuff, and that fresh eye look is always a good thing, no matter what you're involved in. So appreciate you coming in today.
Thanks.
Mr. Smelker. Did I already talk to you? Okay. Any other questions
No
for
more
Mr.
questions.
Smelker? Okay. No, I appreciate your application, thank you. It's nice that you've got some experience with the park. You sound like you keep yourself pretty busy. Do you have time to actually, do some work on the ground as well? I mean, it sounds like you're connected with some of these people already, so.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, it's one of those things when you get involved in a board, you get involved in a lot of things sometimes. But,
Yeah.
having that connection to the park is a big plus. So thank you for coming in today. You're welcome to stay. We're going to take a break here, and we'll make a decision on this and let you know today.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. We're going to take about a 7 to 10 minute recess, and then we will continue. Before we come back in session and continue our interviews for Parks and Recreation Commission, next up, we have Mr. Richard Moore. Whoever that
Who's he? Who's he?
I heard part of that.
Good morning. Rick Moore, related to very few other Moores.
More or less.
Born and raised in Hastings, did what everybody in Hastings does when they graduate from high school. Buy a hippie van, put your clothes in a grocery bag, and get the heck out of town. And I discovered that I really like Hastings in Berry County. I lived in Suttons Bay, Bend, Oregon, Tucson, Arizona, and Key West, Florida. And I like Michigan, where the water is where it belongs, about 30 feet underneath you, not in your living room. No earthquakes, no forest fires, that kind of stuff. And I've always been a park enthusiast, because if city people don't have a chance to go ride on the trail or go out into the country or visit Charlton Park, then they'll want to buy 5 acres in the country someplace. And if every farm is cut up into 5-acre or 2-acre parcels, then there's no real country left. So it's important for the city folks. And I remember when the trail first opened up, a young lady called up concerned about snakes on the trail. And gosh, I was kind of concerned about that. And I asked for a description. And no, she was talking about snake skins, because the snakes would go out on the asphalt and wiggle around and get out of their old skin. And so I called her up and told her, you don't need to be afraid. Those are empty skins. But I'm so glad you finally got out into the country and see things and stuff. But when a bird takes off flying, don't stand underneath them, because you'll experience another joy of nature when a bird poops on your head, that kind of thing. But we also on the trail have a large group of people bird watching and other things. Well, when I'm on the bike trail, I just think about bicycling and going fast and talking with other people, because I haven't met a person yet that I couldn't learn something from. But other people do other things, and I think it's wonderful. And so we have a wonderful group on our park commission now, because in 2007, I was at a park commissioner meeting, and they really didn't want to be on that job, but we had a tsunami of volunteers who wanted to step up and help, and had some wonderful ideas of what they wanted to do to the park. And so the entire park commission got fired and replaced with a park board. And some of these people just had wonderful ideas and ambition and wanted to do stuff. Because I've said this before, because I quit drinking 54 years ago, I remember stuff. Some of these park commissioners didn't want more people out at Charlton Park, because you'd have to paint the buildings more often, or, this was the weirdest one, we'd have to hire somebody to pick up cigarette butts. And that was the kind of the deal that sunk the boat for them. So I had a huge tsunami of volunteers. We had to have a separate park board for the Paul Henry Thornapple Trail, because some people just didn't understand the importance of a linear park. And to me it's important, because you can connect one park to the next. And my plan B, I've heard this discussed in a little discussion, my plan B for the trail is have a sewer line going down the rail grade to Algonquin Lake for the rich people, because if you fly over Algonquin Lake, you can see where the drain fields are polluting the lake and a green streak into the water. And then when that's successful, you put a sewer line out to Thornapple Lake for the poor folks who really need it. And then guess what? Pave the trail for maintenance purposes, and then we have a trail out to Charlton Park, so folks can ride their bicycle out to Charlton Park, enjoy the day, and ride back. Because if you expect to build a campground at Charlton Park, we've already investigated that. Almost $1 million. And then you do what? You collect $25 a night for these people? You got to hire a guard because we have millions of dollars worth of stuff in the the museum? Well, that doesn't work very well either. So here I'm saying my interview already, because when I talk in front of a podium, Reverend Rick pops out, and it's hard to shut up, because there's just so many things going on in my head, and we're making so much wonderful progress in Berry County with the paved trail in Nashville, and the people who used to run out and chase me with their wooden guns in the VFW now love the trail and ask me to make a little trail from their backyard to the trail, and I go, no, I'm too busy. But you can do that, because we have, like Doc said, you got young mothers and their children using the trail that never used it before, because people couldn't imagine what a paved trail was like. All they saw was, can I encroach on the property just a little more and still have a trail go through? Well, yes, we can. I have lake property. The neighbors like to encroach on the property a little bit more, and let them get away with that. I don't want to be the biggest prick on Podunk Lake. Let somebody else have that job. So anyway, yes, I've been doing this for 44 years on my bike trail. Daryl is the savior of Charlton Park. I'm the bicycle trail guy who wants my trail to go to Charlton Park and have the entire community be able to ride there. Here we have a young guy with a family and a farm, spends 7 days or 6.5 days a week working out at Charlton Park. I am impressed that he can do that. I don't have time. I don't have that kids, but I've got 5 houses that own me, and that's what I have to work on, as well as the bicycle trail. And oh man, I love it. When the Trail Association gave the county our 7 acres of property, I promised that I would do the maintenance for the rest of my life. And I still hold that promise. I will continue to do that. I mow from Stimson Road to 108th Street, and I blow the leaves off that section of the trail. I'd like to suggest that the trail is closed in Middleville for November, and so I can blow the leaves off the trail, because people shouldn't be hunting right next to a recreational trail anyway. So I'll try to slow down and ask, do you have any other questions?
Whew, I think you've pretty much covered it all. Commissioner Getty.
I don't have any questions for Rick. I've worked with Rick for years, and, you know, we see his excitement and energy he has for the trails here, but he really shows that with his work ethic and keeping the trails very usable, and certainly is an ambassador everywhere he goes.
Mr. Colton.
You were talking about birds taking off, and I've been to Target twice in my life. But I won't get into detail on that. Okay. I remember, I think I first got to know you real well relating to the trails. Can you hear me, Rick? The trails. And couldn't believe how much work you put into that on your own time. And I was really impressed by that. So it's really now expanded to, you know, other areas of the parks. And so appreciate all the work you've done and your leadership, and I definitely support you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bassett?
Well, I will say that I've gotten to know Rick here in this year that I've been on the board, and I appreciate that he comes to the meeting and keeps the parks and rec activities first and foremost in our minds every time he comes and brings us up to date, so I appreciate that. But I don't have any questions. I think he answered all of them for me, so thanks for your service.
Commissioner Smilk?
I have no questions for Rick, but I do see why your Parks and Rec meeting might go so long.
Commissioner Campbell?
Well, I'm trying to think of something good to say about him. Rick, you know, I really like the guy. His attendance here is much better than mine, which says a lot. Your dedication and your loyalty to the parks and the trails and Berry County is so commendable. And I will continue speaking under my breath occasionally and being corrected by you as it should be. I sat at a meeting the other night where I sat in the back and I couldn't hear a thing, and I thought about you, about what you talk about every day up here, about speaking up. And my mother used to tell me that, Bruce, the only one that can hear you is you, and speak up. So I appreciate that you do that. We jest about it a little bit, but it's a well-needed thing.
Thank you.
Appreciate your loyalty to the county.
Commissioner Tennyson?
Rick, it's got to be really rewarding to you to see that the people are out using these trails now. And all the years that you advocated for that, to see it finally come true. Every time you're out there, you got to say, my vision finally came true, right? I mean, but your dedication, I see you all over the place. It's not just out there at Shelton Park or any place. I see you all over supporting different events at Hastings. Right. And you're a great promoter of Hastings and the area, Berry County, for all the activities around here. But you're always trying to tell people, get out, enjoy nature. And you're a great man for that. So thank you for replying again, Rick.
Thank you.
Certainly an ambassador
We had a
for
commissioner who said, people over 50 don't exercise and we don't want to. And I said, well, obviously you're doing it wrong. And he had a heart attack after that. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. Because, get out and go for a walk.
There you go. Well, continue being an ambassador for Berry County. We appreciate your years of service. What was it, 40-some years with the STEAM Club and with the parks?
Thank you very much.
That's impressive. So we appreciate it. Thank you, Rick. Richard. Next up, Michael Van Vels. No, Michael? No, it was scheduled for 11:05, so we're a little early there. We know Robert Walbaum is not here, and Jake Wiggins. I do not see Jake either. So if Michael comes in around 11 o'clock, we will interview him. So that concludes our current interviewees that we have available. Let's move to the discussion part of this to go through some of what we already know.
June,
that?
Department of Health and Human Services Board, June Barrett.
That's an appointment.
Oh, okay.
I believe that it's just an appointment because she is an incumbent, so.
I see. Okay,
So
thank
we've
you.
have interviewed her, so. Anyways, appointment of at-large representative to Region 3B Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council, Carewell Services. We had 2 interviews scheduled. One interviewer, Lois, had showed up, and Robert was apparently not available or not feeling well this morning. So, does the board have a preference on what you'd like to do with that?
Yeah,
I'd like to move to appoint Lois Bowers.
support that.
Okay. Following interviews, approval to reappoint or to appoint Lois Bowers to serve as an at-large representative for Berry County on the Region 3B Area on Aging Advisory Council for a 2-year term. Discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Eric, do we need a roll call on those? Since it's a final action, there's no money being spent here. This is just appointment, so.
Okay, you're fine.
Okay, perfect.
It's listed as roll call vote, so if you want to do it, but it's not usually money with the issues and roll call.
Exactly. Okay, Commission on Aging. Missed one in there. We'll do Commission on Aging. All right, we won't do Commission on Aging. Let's do Central Dispatch. Commissioner Smelker.
I would like to nominate Cindy Vuja on Central Dispatch.
On Central Dispatch, okay. Okay, motion by Smelker, support by Campbell for approval to reappoint Cindy Vuja to serve on Central Dispatch Board in a citizen-at-large position for a 4-year term that begins on 1/1/26 and expires on 12/31/30. Now, I know I had another agenda here because some of these.
Supposed to be 29, I think.
Area agency approval, central dispatch, okay, on 12/31/29. There we go. Additional discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next up, Commission on Aging. What are your wishes?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah. Very good candidate.
I think the best, you want me to nominate 4 people? Can I nominate 4 people? Or do you gotta do it one by one?
Let's see what our positions are we have.
We have 4 positions.
Okay. So these aren't split terms, these are just 4 positions.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think the winning team would be Robin Berg, Cheryl Lewis Blake, Terry Dennison, and Douglas Smendick.
Support.
Okay. Other conversation or other input on those nominations? Motion by Calton, support by Smelker for approval to reappoint or appoint Robin Berg, Cheryl Lewis Blake, Terry Dennison, and Douglas Smendick to serve on the Berry County Commission on Aging Board for 3-year terms that begins on 1/1/26 and expires on 12/31. This says 28, so if it's a 3-year term, yeah, 26, 27, 28. Okay. On 28, additional discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Very good candidates for that board. Very good candidates for that board. Parks and Recreation, Commissioner Getty, would you like to lead us on this?
I would like to nominate Cheeseman and Moore for the full-term positions, and Matthew Lewis for the partial term.
Okay.
Second.
Darrell Cheeseman, Richard Moore for the full terms, and Matthew Lewis for the partial term.
Correct.
Okay.
I support that.
Supported by Calton. Any discussion or any other nominations?
Is it proper that we're doing this before 11 o'clock when Mr. Van Vales was supposed to interview?
Good point. Let's hold that nomination until 11:05 and we'll see what happens because it would be proper to have all interviewees. So I appreciate that. Okay. The chair would entertain a motion for approval for the reappointment of June Barrett. There you go. To serve on the Department of Health and Human Services Board for a 3-year term beginning on November 1st, 2025, expiring October 31st, 2028.
I would like to make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, motion by Campbell, support by Tunison for approval for the reappointment of June Barrett to serve on the Department of Health Human Services Board for a 3-year term beginning on November 1st, 2025, expiring on October 31st, 2028. Any additional discussion?
I'd just say I work with her over there on that board. She does a great job. She attends all the time. She's perfect for the board position, in my opinion.
Perfect. Any other comments or input? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next up, Building Authority appointment. The chair would entertain a motion for approval to reappoint Kelly Shumway, Berry County Treasurer, to the Berry County Building Authority for a 3-year term that began on 1/1/2026 and ends on 12/31/2029. 2028.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Smelker.
Support.
Support by Tunison for the approval to reappoint Kelly Shumway to the Berry County Treasurer to the Berry County Building Authority for a 3-year term that begins on 1/1/26, ends on 12/31/28. Additional discussion or comments?
I got a question. Can she send an appointment to that? Like some people, when Jim Dole is on a board, he can send, or someone he appoints.
She's appointed for that, that's her, she's there by position primarily, but she can't set like Lori in her place. It's Kelly.
She can't send someone
Say
else
she
to
can't.
vote.
She cannot?
She cannot.
Okay.
So
She's got her hands full in the job she's got.
she's a busy girl, that's for sure. Additional question or discussion?
How often do they meet?
They haven't met since I've been here.
Oh, they haven't?
So it's not a.
It shouldn't be
it's not a
too
big-
drastic, shouldn't it?
No, it's not a major, it's more when you're doing major projects, you have to do funding, or if you have certain property sales, if it needs to run through them, the building authority or not.
Okay. Additional questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. West Michigan Regional Planning Commission appointments. The chair would entertain a motion for approval of the reappointment of David Hatfield to the West Michigan Regional Planning Commission for a term beginning on January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Support.
We'll vote Dave in when he ain't here.
There you go. I did talk to him. Motion by Smelker, support by Getty for approval to reappoint David Hatfield of the West Michigan Regional Planning Commission for a term beginning on January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026. Discussion. I did talk to Dave. He's been on that board for a couple years since he has been a commissioner, and he was willing to continue to be on that board, so, so that was pretty cut and dry. Additional questions or discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. And we have tabled the approval of $4,000 to support the defense efforts of Pung versus Isabella County Supreme Court case. So that is postponed. So we will bring that up at another time. And talking to Eric, I know there are several questions in that we may be able to have our attorney present next week, so we can kind of drill down deeper into that and have a little time to do some more research in depth on this, since there's a wide variety of opinions on what this case actually means and whether the county should be involved in it.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
we've had a lot of input from our constituents on it, so I just think it's worth drilling down a little deeper to be sure that we have all of the information.
Yes.
Eric, would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, if there are specific questions you would like the attorney to address to make sure, I mean, he would cover everything, but if there's specific things you want him to dial in on, please let me know. And, we were going to share more information at the meeting, so not all of it would go in the report, but some of it just needed to be verbal. But yeah, this is not an opinion where it's a political issue for me. To me, it's more of a practical financial issue for the county, and something that while it may directly impact Isabella, it will impact all of the counties in the state of Michigan. So that's why you have the request in front of you, but we're happy to discuss this more next week.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We're going to need some clarification why it's going to benefit us. That's what we need to know.
Right.
Right?
mean,
Is the pros and cons of it and
I give you
why
my
it's going
opinion of what was been shared, and that's more along the lines of if the change in the way the tax foreclosure process, if the Supreme Court rules in favor of Mr. Pung, that puts the potential county liability at a very high level compared to what we take in from the tax foreclosure. So that's the one big concern I have. And when does it go back to? And we have the wayside settlement. We have things that in place. We have people who are putting in for the excess proceeds from the tax sale. We do that all the time. Anything we've ever taken from, and I know this was a question, I believe, from Ms. Lake, anything we've ever taken from a foreclosure sits in a fund. We don't spend that money. So we have money sitting in that fund right now until we get through the process on where all these excess proceeds and all the time frame is exhausted, and then you'll have a decision to make with any proceeds that are in there. But for now, Michael made a point when I started, he's like, Eric, don't touch that money, it's there. Down the road, we'll discuss it.
One more question. How far can someone go back?
That's a legal question, you're gonna have to ask that one to the attorney. As I think Larry said earlier, I just, he learned from Holiday Express, I just played a lawyer on TV, so.
I think if we're going to do this either next week or the following week, it would probably be good to really give everybody a full-blown education on just how the tax foreclosure process works.
Right.
From start to finish.
Sure.
Because I don't think any of us have been in that position, but if we know how our excess proceeds, where do they go, where are they being spent, what's our legal obligation, can people reapply for those? There's a lot of questions that are being brought up. There's a lot of information here on the Isabella County case from outside counsel, from people who are not attorneys. So it'll be interesting to see what the actual case going before the Supreme Court is. Is it viable? Should we be spending money on another county's problem? Because when we get sued, we don't ask other counties to participate.
You get sued at this level, you would.
Okay.
And Attorney Vanderland would be much better individual to share some of these questions with.
But, so there'll be questions on this, and I just think we need to drill down on this before we make a commitment. It's not a large financial commitment. It's certainly not going to bankrupt the county. However, what I'm led to believe is that they could go back and go for market value versus actual selling proceeds, you could be talking millions of dollars.
I think those are definitely great questions for the attorney, and he can shed a lot of light from the group's perspective.
Okay. All right, we will continue to put that at rest, and we will discuss that further in the
Mr.
near
Chairman?
future. Yes.
I have done some advanced research on this one. I did my homework. It seems like the bigger issue is the equity that's lost in the house caused from the fire sale at the courthouse versus what the value of the property is. The owner then has not only paid his taxes up, but he has also lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity for a fine. Basically, his taxes not paid. So that is part of the bigger gist of it. The issue of the amount of money that's left after the sale has been kind of established in the case over in Detroit, where anything left after the sale was $75,000. Once expenses are paid and the taxes are paid, is supposed to be returned to the owner. So that's some of the big litigation part that's going on there.
And you're saying in Isabella County that wasn't the case, or that's what's being
In Isabella
litigated?
County originally, no, they did not do that. But in the district court in Michigan, it did come down that they were responsible to pay the extra money that they had taken in plus the interest on it. And of course, they appealed that, and that's why it's at the U.S. Supreme Court. Although Pung, if that's the pronunciation, he's pursuing the other part of it too, the equity in it. That when we foreclose on a place and we throw it on the courthouse steps, and you sell a place for, in this case, $75,000, and it then turns into a resale issue, the person that buys it sells it for $198,000 a short time later. So it brings up that issue of equity and how much does a person have to lose if hard times falls on him. And the whole thing started with a tax owed of $2,298.73 owed in taxes. So that's what brought all this to where it's at now. It's amazing. But for $2,200.
There was other circumstances in that about homestead property too, wasn't
Oh,
there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back to 2004.
So that's why this
Person
shouldn't
died.
take precedent
He
over the whole
died.
state.
In 2008, his wife died, the son, her, and the guy lived at the place, and I was under the assumption they were still being homesteaded exempt, and the county claimed that, no, you weren't because you didn't come back in and pre-apply for the homestead exemption, so there's a lot of dirty water there. I'm not too sure that should be part of our dirty water.
It's interesting how $22 tax liability is turned into a $2,200
$22.73
tax liability.
Tax liability was when they foreclosed.
It's turned into a $350,000 Supreme Court case.
The house now is valued at about $400,000.
Okay. We got a lot to learn. a lot to go through. The things you thought you'd never get to do as a county commissioner.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. It's
Yes.
11:06, so your time has passed.
11:06. Okay.
My nominations still stand.
Who supported that? Was that Smelker that
I think
supported it? Or Calton? Okay. Motion by Getty, support by Calton for nomination to the Parks and Recreation Commission for the 2 full-term positions of Daryl Cheeseman and Richard Moore, and the 1 partial-term position for Matthew Lewis. Those terms, if I can find them on this very complicated sheet, begins on January 1st, 2026, expires on December 31st, 2028. Any questions or discussions on that very well-spoken motion?
Well, I like that, not to speak out of turn, but that Lewis kid, I'm very impressed with that kid as far as, I think he's the next generation that's really going to step up and be a great leader out there. You know?
Got a connection to the park, so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Additional discussion? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
One nay or 2?
2.
2 nays, okay. Noted. The motion is approved. Limited public comment. At this time, any member of the public wishing to address the board may do so for up to 3 minutes.
I'm here, so I'll take the opportunity to do a brief update on the building. So Courtney Zinni, Executive Director of Commission on Aging. So have you been by the site lately? Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
55 mile an hour.
You can see walls, and if you walk through it, like I can see where rooms are going to be, and it's really very exciting. They have roof on a section of it. And the snowstorm this weekend kind of put a little bit of a damper on where thought we were going to be at this week. So yesterday they were clearing snow off because they have a layer down that goes down before the shingles. So they were clearing that off so that they could get the next section of shingles up hopefully this week. They will clear snow from the cement pad today or tomorrow and to try to move things along. So their hope is, the building is kind of an L shape. So if Harvest Point's here, the connector piece goes this way, and then it goes this way towards 79. So this is a section that's already roofed. They're working on this section. So their hope is that they can go all the way across to this and put a freeze barrier up because the utilities connect from Harvest Point. So the idea is then to use these days where we can't be outside roofing to get some of the utilities done. So they've been, really everyone's working right along with each other. Framing's taking a little bit longer than what we had anticipated, but they're still telling me that they're on schedule. So we're still looking at a mid-2026 move-in date, which could not be any too soon. The snowstorm, it was even snowing, it was not even melting yet. And it's coming in places that it wasn't coming in before. So we're literally patching holes and redirecting water, basically. This is now our life. So it's lots of fun. But anyway, I actually left early on Wednesday and got a text. By the way, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't float away before I come back on Monday. This is what I was thinking. But so we are, today is Giving Tuesday, for those of you that don't know. And so we do encourage anyone that is willing to donate to the building fund. We are about $250,000 from our goal. Super close. We just need to get over that finish line. And so we will be doing a push for that over the next 2 or 3 months. And we're confident we'll get there. The community's been very supportive up to this point. So,
absolutely.
I know it's public comment, but does anyone have any questions about the project?
Commissioner Smelker.
That 250,000, does that take in MDOT? Michigan Department of Transportation?
I know, I was trying to think of how I was going to answer it. Those costs have yet to be identified, so no, we don't know if that number will go up or not. So that's based on, we do still have a significant contingency. so, as well, but built into that number.
Thank you.
Additional questions? Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to see that building going up. Additional public comment?
Rick Moore again. I wish to thank you for your support, and I also wish to thank you for your sincere effort to try to speak into the microphone and use your outdoor voice. I quit saying that for a while because nobody paid attention, but I just wanted to thank you very much because, yes, I could hear much more, and I'm sure people on the internet could hear much more as well. So, once again, thank you very much for all you do, including the things we know about and the things we don't. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you. Additional public comment? Commissioner comments. Commissioner Tunison.
You know, days like today when we have these, it really tells you how many people really care about giving back. And, you know, it's exciting to see the amount of people that really want to realize that they've lived here their whole lives and, or they've done something their whole lives, and now it's time for them to share what knowledge they have or just their time, not financially, but their time. And that's a big deal, right? Giving up time. And we all do it because I think we all care deeply about where we live. And you can see the amount of other people that really care about where they live too. So, great to see. So.
Commissioner Campbell.
Bob said it perfectly. It's nice to see so many, not only people here wanting to volunteer, but very, very good qualified people that we need to make the wheels go around here in Berry County. I was happy to see that the tax foreclosure event that's taken place in Isabella is going to be discussed at a later time. I'm very interested to find out how many other counties are on board with this, how many are not on board with this, and that sort of thing. So I'm glad we left that for some discussion.
That's what we are intended to do with this format, is if we're not sure on something, that we can postpone it and drill down and get more information on it. So anytime you have a question, I appreciate the fact that we can do that. Commissioner Smelker.
I agree with Bruce on the tax foreclosure thing, and I also want to see where Mac stands on this.
Good point.
Seems there are lobbyists kind of.
Okay, it's a good thought. Commissioner Getty.
Echo previous comments. It's so, I think it should fill us with a lot of optimism that we attract the kind of caliber of candidates that we saw today. And without those boards and commissions being filled with people that want to serve for the right reason, we can't accomplish our goals and objectives here. So I really appreciate them coming in.
Commissioner Colton.
No comments.
Commissioner Bassett.
I think a lot's been said, but I also am encouraged by, a couple new faces coming on some of these boards, as we've talked about, to have new ideas and new people coming on. So that's really great too.
I
Okay,
got one more question.
you had your turn. So.
I just want to know if there's anybody that Marcia hasn't worked with.
He seems to have made an impact on the community. A lot of people know that face, so that's
Yeah,
good.
they do.
That is good, and I'm disappointed that we've known Bruce all these years and we've never got donuts. So,
He gave that up a while ago.
My career ended around 2014.
Well,
But I did have the apron that did say Donut King on it.
there you go.
It feels like he would still have the recipe.
Yeah, somewhere.
Exactly.
My
Somewhere.
largest order one time was 250 donuts for a wedding.
Oh, my God.
And you gotta understand that.
I want you to hear this. You got to understand that it was made on an old-fashioned donut maker. You cranked out one donut at a time into a vat that you cooked 12 at a time. And you sit there with the drumsticks and flipped it and all that stuff. So it was very interesting. Was it the highlight of my life? I hope not. But it was enjoyable and you met a lot of great people.
There you go. A couple notes, if you haven't got your mileage reports in to county administration, they are due. Also, we have an abbreviated, adjusted schedule, so I thank you for coming for this Monday extra meeting. Next week, we have our regular BOC, and then the following Tuesday, we also have our final BOC of the year. Then you'll have, 2-3 weeks off until we meet for the organizational meeting in January 2nd to start with. So just so your calendar is clear, back-to-back meetings, next 2 Tuesdays, and then you don't have to see me for a few weeks. So, that'll make your Christmas merry and bright. There you go. There you go.